Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of the top 10 tools that will help you better work more effectively with a virtual team or as a remote worker. So, in the last episode, part 1, we went over the first 5 tools that were recommended. So this included a task management system, a time tracker, money management, Google Suite, and video conferencing. So for this recording, I want to go ahead and talk about the next 6 tools or 6 through 10, the next 5 tools that we use and highly recommend for both virtual team use, or even if you just have like a couple people that are working remotely or as a freelancer, these tools can really make a difference for you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So number 6 of these top 10 tools is creating a communication channel. So what is this? Think about a virtual water cooler, elevator, or even a break room. Where is it that your team members talk about their weekends, catch up on project notes? You know, when you're in the office, maybe a couple people pop out to the break room and share a snack and chit chat about something that happened to them or a project that they're working on. Creating a space for this online really helps build a stronger relationship within your team, as well as it creates a digital space for that company culture to really grow. And with a virtual team, this is really, really important that you want to not only be conscious of this, but intentional. And I know it can be tempting to think, oh, those are setting up opportunities for time wasting, or that doesn't sound very efficient. But you really do want to purposefully set up those items to be able to allow your team to have those conversations and build those connections and network. This is also true for connecting with potential clients or just virtual coffees and networking together. Previously when you might have met up with somebody for a coffee or went with a coworker to walk to a local lunch spot, you could blow off some steam and chit chat and then come back and be more productive. It is really important to also build this online, and the similar situation can be created through an online channel. So what we use is Slack and GChat. These are both messenger apps that work in different ways to communicate about, instant email, where perhaps I might have previously looked over and yelled over to somebody at the other desk. Now I can just send them a quick message. There's other options that includes Skype and other types of messenger apps. So number 7 is a social media scheduler. So whether you're working with a virtual team or not, every business really could benefit from a social media scheduler. This becomes especially true for employees that are managing social media sites when they're no longer able to be on site, whether they get sick or busy and miss a day, or something like these 2020 stay-at-home orders that have been going on. However, if you've included a social media scheduler in place, it really opens up options for them to be able to still publish that content and keep your digital marketing channels active. This is also true for operations running as normal, to have social media content that's scheduled ahead of time as a big part of your marketing plan that really frees up your employees from feeling they need to post day to day. So the few things that we use are Sendable and Tailwind, which is specifically for Pinterest. There's dozens of other options. A few that I'm familiar with are Hootsuite, Later, Sprout Social, and Buffer. These also help allow responding to comments, for example, and being able to share relevant articles, retweet information, to like people's posts. This is just a really great way for you to digitally engage with your community. So building that space for people, especially if they can't come into your office because either you don't have an office or it's closed for some reason. So remember, social media is a social platform. This is a place for you to get social with your community and have fun with it. All right, so that was number 7. Let's go ahead and roll right into number 8 for these top 10 tools. And that is having a good graphics tool, some kind of system that will help you build really nice graphics. Because let's face it, having a branded quality graphic for your website or your social media sites or whichever digital communication is not only easier than ever, but it's really expected. And this is something simple you can do to create a professional branded appearance online. Think about some of the favorite stores that you walk into, or some of the common ones. Think about Walmart or Target, maybe your local grocery store, a Starbucks. All of these stores, when you walk in, a lot of them have a color that you think of. Walmart, you probably thought of blue. Target, you probably thought of red. Starbucks, that deep green. And they have that branding that's the same everywhere you walk in. Well, you can translate that online. So you want to create your digital spaces with that same kind of consistent branding, especially if you're having a lot of customers visiting you in this online space, as well as for your teams. So one of the ways you can do that is creating branded graphics that are the signatures for your emails. You can also use those same colors in your website, in your social media posts, all of those elements that really create a coherent experience, not only for your team to feel like they are part of that same office setting if they worked in one of those stores, or they worked in, if you work in an Apple store, that also has very consistent branding that you can think of that translates to the website. So really, don't underestimate the power of this. It can really, really make a big difference, especially for employees and team members who might not have that office connection. This is part of building that both for your clients and for your team members. So one of the tools that we use is Canva. I really, really like it. Some people use, the Adobe products like Spark and Photoshop. PicMonkey is also a big one out there. But really, there's a lot of these tools that are very affordable that makes graphics easier than ever. Or there's tons of great graphic designers out there that can help you out with this. Alrighty, moving right along to number 9 is a password sharing system. A solid and secure password sharing system is one of the key effective tools for virtual teams, especially if you've previously worked in an office space that perhaps had secure internal networks or even an intranet. So a good system will allow people to share login information without necessarily having to text each other the password or share that vital information over like an unsecure email database. For virtual teams, you're not always sure about the security or privacy of an individual computer or a network. It's not necessarily something you can guarantee, if someone's working from a coffee shop or working from home or traveling. But with a tool like a password sharing system, you're able to keep that data encrypted and private and just add that extra layer of protection for your company and your client data. We use LastPass, which takes a little bit of setup, but it really ends up being a fantastic app. There's other options that were highlighted: Dashlane, NPass, Bitwarden. Same ideas, just really helps keep that information secure. Okay, well that brings us to number 10. Last but not least, one of the top 10 tools for effectively working with a virtual team is a CRM system. CRM is short for Customer Relationship Management, meaning that a CRM tool is something that really helps an organization manage their relationships with their customers. Similar, for kind of a physical example, this is very similar to a Rolodex, except for it's complex and interactive and goes between multiple people, everyone in your organization. So for example, within a company, you can manage emails, see all communications with one contact, keep notes about calls, record calls and keep them in files, automate the sending of emails and birthday emails, newsletters, keeping track of a content status, if they're a contact, a lead, a customer, and figuring out where they are in the sales pipeline. This is really a key tool for any team, yet the more and more people that are working virtual or remote, this has become vital, especially if you're replacing in-office meetings or in-client meetings. You want to have some kind of place to know who's been talking to whom, where, and what you've been talking about. So that's why a CRM system is really, really important. We currently use HubSpot, which is a fantastic overall system that does a lot of things. There's also ActiveCampaign, Lawmatics, Salesforce, Zendesk, Hatchbook. A lot of them, like Lawmatics is very specifically for lawyers, or there's different CRM systems that are designed for specific industries. And a lot of them start with a very basic free model. So it's something to look into to help keep track of who you're talking to. So those are the second half of the top 10 tools for working with a virtual team. It's very important as more and more organizations transition to include a virtual workforce that these simple steps to be taken to implement these tools to really help this smooth and successful transition to a virtual workforce. Using these tools can help create a customer service, a more comprehensive, create a team culture, as well as having good customer service, as well as a digital footprint that's comprehensive, very similar to having a good office. So if you have any questions or any thoughts on this, please join us in our Facebook group, Marketing for Makers. That's 4 as in the number 4, where we talk a lot about the working from home elements of setting up a digital space. So thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.